Hello, friends. It is week 3 for college football. Lots of exciting stuff happened this last weekend, especially for me. And if you didn't keep up with the Cyhawk game, it was an emotional roller coaster. So, Iowa State ended up winning in the end, so I've been riding on Cloud 9 for a good little while now. And it was probably one of my favorite games I've ever watched. So, if you're interested in that, definitely look up some clips and highlights of it. And I didn't really watch any other games. I was partying it up afterwards. But, yeah, I can't give too much review on some of the other games. So, apologies for that. I just know the Big 12 was looking a little shaky this week with Oklahoma State going into double overtime. A little worrisome, but regardless, let's get into this week's projections. So I'm going to switch screens here. And first up, we've got a Thursday game. Arizona State at Texas State. And still, I feel bad, especially during non-conference. I don't know too many of the opponents, but even still, I don't know too much about the new schools. It looks like it'll be a close game, and ASU is a little favored, especially being away team. I hope they win. They've looked decent, so I'll be rooting for them. I don't know who plays NFL-wise this Thursday, so might watch this, might switch back and forth between the games. But honestly, I'm here for the Thursday-Friday games in the Big 12. I just don't want it to be my school, but I'm sure the time will come. So Arizona State, hopefully a good watch. I mean, there won't be any other college football games on Thursday, and if the NFL game isn't too good, then you can always tune into this, at least for an hour before the NFL starts. Friday, we got both Kansas teams playing. So UNLV is at Kansas, and UNLV is an enjoyable team to watch. Iowa State played them a few years ago, and it was a fun environment, but definitely not a team that I hope Kansas has much competition with. Kansas has been a little rocky. They lost to Illinois last week, so hopefully they can rebound and do a little bit better this week and beat UNLV pretty confidently, but who knows with the Jayhawks. And then an hour later, K-State. Arizona is playing K-State. I'm not sure if these are conference games, because like last week we had the Baylor-Utah non-conference game. I don't know if these are also non-conference games or actual conference games. It would be weird that they were conference games already, but weird things happen. I hope K-State can pull this out. Arizona is decent, but K-State is what seems to be like a top 3 team in the Big 12, so I think they should be fine. They looked a little rocky last week as well, but I think they'll be good. It's kind of a 2-point spread, 4-point over-under. That's kind of surprising, but moving on to Saturday, Cincinnati at Miami of Ohio. Cincinnati has been looking rough. They lost last weekend, and I don't know, to Pitt, I think. I don't know. They lost in a close game. Miami is not great. They're decent for an FCS school, don't get me wrong. They're definitely a pretty decent team, but I don't think that Cincinnati should lose to them as a Big 12 team, but I don't have confidence in them, in Cincinnati, and I'm not a huge Cincinnati fan, to be honest, and I had a friend who went to Miami of Ohio, so I will root for them. I probably won't pay too much attention to this game, but I'll definitely root for the Red Hawks, and it's only a 3.5-point spread, so really it's a toss-up game, but this over-under is looking like it'll be a low-scoring defensive battle. Oklahoma State at Tulsa, so I mean, not much to say about this game. It should be an easy win for Oklahoma State, but last week felt like it should be an easy win as well, and that went into double overtime. Not so much of an easy win as this one will be, but not a win that warrants double overtime. So, yeah, 20-point spread. There's not much to do with that. Now, North Texas, Mean Green. What a name. Against Texas Tech. I feel like every year Texas Tech is a team that I want, or I think can do good, and then they just fumble the bag at the start of the season. They had an alright game last week against Washington State. Washington State definitely looked like a way better team than the spread predicted, but 9.5 point spread for Texas Tech pretty much across the board here. Ideally, they don't have any competition with North Texas, but who knows with them? They seem to kind of be a wild card. West Virginia at Pitt. I know this game has a name for it, and I don't know what it is, but I will root for West Virginia in it by principle. And some of these games where West Virginia has a rivalry are really fun to watch. So, close game. Looks like a kind of high-scoring game with a 60 over-under, but it should be entertaining nonetheless, which is all that really matters if you're not too invested into it. I'm not sure what other games are in this time slot, and for the record, Iowa State has a bye this week, so they won't be playing, so I will have time to watch all the other games. Utah State, so obviously should be an easy win for Utah. Utah seems to be the number one school in the conference right now. And Utah State, FCS school, has some Iowa ties, but this should be a pretty easy game. It looks like a low-scoring game with a 44.5 point over-under, but I'm guessing that's just because Utah's going to score all the points. Let me take a drink of water here real quick. You can look at this next game. UCF at TCU. Another one of those, I don't know if it's a conference game or not, type of games. I would think this one is, but I don't know how far out it was scheduled ahead of time, because UCF has been in the conference, but it could be one of those where, like, these non-conference games are scheduled out years in advance, so I don't really know. But it's at TCU. UCF is not the best on the road compared to at home, and TCU's kind of a nothing burger right now. So two middle-of-the-pack teams going at it, and kind of high-scoring. Either way, probably turn into a little bit of an ugly game, but hopefully it's close and competitive. We'll see. That was my awful analysis on that game. Air Force versus the Baylor Bears. Our first evening game. Baylor, I think they have like a kind of a rough schedule this year, but this one should be an easy win. I mean, the service academies aren't the best by any means. They have their strategy and they stick to it, so I think Baylor will be fine. Over 2 touchdown spread, that's not bad, and a very low over-under for a game with that big of a spread. So it looks like they're going to kind of run them out of the park, so it should be an easy game. Now, an in-state rivalry that was a really good game to watch last year is Colorado at Colorado State. And as I've said before, and probably every time I see Colorado Buffaloes on the screen, is I will root against Colorado in every game. I am an official hater of the Colorado Buffaloes and everything that Deion Sanders is. So, especially his son Shadur, the quarterback. I heard that Deion asked the band to not play the Colorado fight song when they score a touchdown or when Shadur scores a touchdown, because he'd rather have them play Shadur's rap songs that he made. It's crazy. So, it was a good game to watch last year. Colorado State was very entertaining to watch. I don't know anything about them after watching the game from last year up until now, so hopefully it's a good game, a good evening game to watch. Rice versus Houston. Houston's pretty bad. Okay. I don't know anything about Rice. Houston's only a 4-point favorite. 2 or 3 of those coming from being the home team. And low over under. Not too low, but I don't know what to expect from this game in the slightest. So, BYU at Wyoming. Wyoming seemed like an entertaining team the other week, so that's good. BYU is a decent enough team that they can take us over. Well, that over-under is very low, 39. So it looks like it'll just be a defensive powerhouse game, and BYU kind of just takes over. So we'll see how that goes. But a night game to watch if you're not wanting to watch anything else. And finally, Michigan State. It looks like it'll be a very easy game for them. I don't know who Prairie View is at all, and the spread is 40.5 with a 50.5 over-under, which says that they're going to win, what would that be? 45-5 is what they're projecting the final score to be. So probably a very easy game. I did not include the Hawkeyes. I didn't recognize who they were playing. We can go check them out. Not going to do NFL this week. It was a very weird week for the NFL. Did I spell it wrong? Yeah, they're playing Troy, so it should be a fine game. UNI is playing Nebraska. I mean, UNI is always interesting for us, but for Big Ten teams, I don't think they stand much of a chance. One other really exciting thing that happened this last weekend that I didn't mention at the start was Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois. I thought that was hilarious. And Northern Illinois is close to where I grew up, so seeing them just destroy Notre Dame was hilarious. And Notre Dame paid NIU $1.4 million to play them, so that's just another icing on the cake. Let's see. I know Portly Hog is a USC fan. That was this last weekend. I don't know when they play or if they have a bye week. This thing's probably not going to load. But, yeah. So, I'll try to include them in future videos, but that's not going to work today. They play Michigan Wolverines on September 21st. I don't know. We'll get there, but I hope that you enjoy the games this week, and let me know what teams you're rooting for and what games you want to watch, and I hope it's a good week. I've got a lot of time to watch other games now that Iowa State's not playing, so if you have any that you want me to watch or check out, let me know, and I will give them a look. So, thanks for watching. I will talk to you soon, and peace out.